today's hard metal tools. When Roger tries chisels made from bronze, the results are disappointing.
As you can see, we're leaving a lot of metal and very little stone is flaking off.
Bronze and copper tools of the time are at first sight too soft. Yet a sarcophagus or coffin makes it clear that ancient masons could cut straight edges. Close up, there are striations, marks made by the movement of a hard edge. Mark challenges one of the team to show him the answer.
All right, we have a big block of granite here. So how's this copper going to cut this granite?
We're going to use the saw in a reciprocating or backwards and forwards motion.
Dennis Stocks, an expert in ancient technology, suggests the Egyptians had a trick up their sleeves.
The saw gets started.
So you're going to chip a groove, and then you're going to put the copper and slide it back and forth. But how, and that's going to cut the granite?
No, Mark.
Even with teeth, the copper alone is too soft.
Okay, well, what is actually going to do the cutting? It seems to me that copper is just going to blunt on granite. I can't believe it's going to cut the stone.
We're going to put sand inside the groove, and we're going to put this saw on top of the sand, and then let the sand do the cutting. All that needs to be done is to move the saw backwards and forwards in a nice, steady motion.
You don't want to lift it up and get those grains in there?
No, they'll work themselves in as it goes.
Yellow?
Okay. Yeah. That's it. Now, the stone weights at each end of the saw are putting the load onto the sand and causes the cutting. The crystal is forced to score a groove in the stone.
So the copper is only guiding the sand's doing the cutting.
Right.
Now, Dennis, will we see any progress in our lifetime?
Yes, if you came back in an hour's time, you would see about a 4mm cut down into the stone.
You're kidding. In an hour, you'll be 4 millimeters down?
Well, I've been doing a lot of experiments, and I can guarantee that this will cut through the stone at about 4mm an hour.
Uncompleted works show the telltale signs of other tools.
8 inches.
Wide and deep drill holes. More striations surround the missing core. Dennis thinks he can recreate these too.
Well, this is pretty easy, Mark.
Yeah, for the first few seconds, no problem. 8 hours into it, I could see being a little sore.
Wall paintings confirm the existence of similar drills for wood.
Hey, Dennis!
But perhaps the Egyptians had more patient or tolerant workers.
What's the problem here?
There's no, without a steady stream of water, you're not getting new material in there to do the cutting action. You're not getting rid of the old powder, which is just interfering with the drill going down.
No, I disagree.
I beg to differ with you, Dennis,
no.
Because that fine powder is acting like a cushion and a polishing agent.
No, sand acts as a fluid as sand.
I've done it for 25 years in the field, and believe me, I've done it dry, I've done it wet, and the wet is much better.
I think by our 10th sarcophagus, we'd probably know the answer to which one was better.
Yeah.
When it comes to proving he's right, there's no holding Roger back.
The sawing went wonderful once we switched over to using water with the sand. As you can see here, we achieved this in just a few days.
Both methods work, and both produce the same pattern of etched lines as in the old tombs. Meanwhile, Dennis's dry drilling goes on.
These guys did a hell of a job, Dennis.
Well, they've really gone down a fair way.
Well, that's pretty impressive for a few days.
Not bad at all.
Now you got to get your core out of there.
And then Just see.
There it goes.
Wow!
You popped right out of there.
Oh!
Look at
there.
that.
Yes.
That could be fourth dynasty, Dennis.
That's right. We could pass it off easily as a fourth dynasty core.
You got your striations and tapers.
And there's the
everything.
hole that we wanted all the time. Fantastic.
Look at that taper. Look at those striations.
Yes.